1,135 men have played international rugby for Scotland, all with their own unique stories to get there. But one thing they had in common is the hard work it took to get to that pinnacle, the effort, the determination and the drive. In this series, brought to you in partnership with Peter Vardy, we will hear about those motivations. Those things that get them up in the morning, the things that bring them back after a tough game, and the things that had them lacing up their boots in the first place. The first person joining me today is Pierre Schoeman. Pierre has already become a firm favourite with the Scottish rugby faithful, and he's made a big impact on the international scene. He's a big guy with a fascinating backstory, so shall we go and pick him up?
Hey Tom.
Hey, come join me in this spaceship, boy.
Yee! Peter Vardy. This is nice, mate. How are you?
Good, boy. How are you?
Good, bro.
Should we go for a coffee?
Please, mate.
We shall go for a coffee in the first time I've ever driven an electric car. Now, look at this.
Yes, but this is fancy, eh?
It is like a spaceship starting up. It's unbelievable. Pre-season going well?
Very well. Mike is a very good coach. He's very innovative.
Yeah.
We've been working on our finish zone, which is, like you would understand, the 22 of the opposition and to the goal line.
Yeah.
So we have to be better at, more clinical converting to points.
Oh, look at Edinburgh. Beautiful place, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
I'm going to gamble on this being Frederick Street. Yes! Cairngorm Coffee, here we come. So I've taken you for a coffee today at Cairngorm Coffee, which is rather nice. Pierre?
It's an excellent place.
I want to start with your early childhood in South Africa. Tell us a little bit about what it was like growing up in South Africa. You were born in Nelspruit. Did you spend your early days there?
Yeah, so my dad was quite a good rugby player at school as well, and he played for the side from Nelspruit in Mpumalanga, the Pumas.
Yeah.
They still at Mbombela Stadium where he played. So he was in the SA
I was
under
in the crowd there. I didn't make the team.
He played for the SA, well, the under 18, not the SA, the under 18 Pumas.
Yeah.
But he was in a bike accident and he almost lost his arm. At that time, it was only me and my older brother that plays for Bath now, also a loosehead. And we used to, since a young age.
Oh, and your brother's also a loosehead?
Yeah.
What did your parents feed you when you were younger?
No,
Besides red meat?
I genuinely don't know. I think it's a biltong in South Africa.
Yeah.
The creatine inside it.
Yeah.
Natural creatine.
Natural.
You would know about that as well, Tom.
Yeah, I do like biltong.
But we used to watch Test rugby, and then he'll always dress as South Africa, the Springboks, because he's older. Because if I say something, he'll just bully me.
Yeah.
And I would dress as the opponents. So I genuinely remembered, it's not a cliche, but I was dressed as Scotland. So we'll pick up all the dog poo in the garden, take the hose pipe and make it wet so you can score nice tries like you, Brian Abana, George North. And then you'll batter me for 10 minutes.
I was going to say, who won that? It's the South Africa, Scotland, who won that?
No, because he was 3 years older.
Oh, fine, okay.
He used to just, he'll say like, no, I won't go full out, I'll go like 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Just run.
Yeah.
And then I'll go and he'll smash me into the walls and
stuff. That,
stuff.
my little brother.
So, and then after the game, we'll go back again.
Yeah.
While everyone's having a barbecue, we'll come back.
Yeah.
Clothes are torn to pieces.
But you both had some of the barbecue, obviously.
Yes,
and
obviously.
You do like that.
And then my parents split up. We moved to Pretoria.
Yeah.
Went to school there. Really, yes, my mom did everything to provide for us, so it was fantastic. Always played rugby, loved it. Always knew it's what I'm going to do after school as well.
Yeah.
And then after primary school, I remember, this is actually a good story. So we call it grade 7, so standard 5, so when I was 13.
Yeah.
So the final year of primary school. I was captain of my primary school.
Yeah.
And I was a bit like scoring tries and stuff, and then I went to high school. And I was not A, B, C, but I was D team.
Oh, wow, right at the back.
And I was like, oh yeah. There's about 10 teams in an all-boys school, and I was like, okay, it's real now.
You're 4 down.
And someone told me, Vardy Pierre, that's one of the, he was IRB Player of the Year. He was one of the world's best 9s.
Yeah.
He was also in that school office and also at the Bulls and then Springboks. He was in the E team when he was 14.
Wow.
And I had a it's like when you say you have to have a hard look at yourself in the mirror, and I thought, okay, well, there's gonna have to be sacrifices, even if you're a young boy now.
Yeah.
If I want to make it, I'm gonna have to shine the school and then make it.
Nice.
And it's gonna take some graft.
Yeah, good.
And I remember I had a gym program that you can do at your house to have a V-shaped back. And I just do everything on that program every night.
And
It
obviously worked, did it?
It worked. And plus I got the lower V as well.
Nice.
Just like a W.
Back straight, back out.
Exactly. And that helps in the scrums.
Explain to us a little bit how it came about when Edinburgh approached you and how you ended up here.
Yeah, so 2017, John Mitchell was our coach at the Bulls. 2018 as well. And I learned so much of him. He's an incredible coach and a mentor as well. He also ended up being at my wedding. That's how close we got as pals as well.
Nice.
Team was selected before that. But I learned so much. He grew my game, and my physical and mental game.
Yeah.
And emotionally fantastic.
Yeah.
And I feel that's where I matured as a player. And then I was forward and player of the year at the Bulls.
Yeah.
And that's when Cockers, coach at the time at Edinburgh, and Matt Cornwall, the manager, they approached me and said, listen, they're looking at me, and do I possibly want to play for Scotland?
What were your first impressions when you got to the city?
No, it was incredible. The first time we got here, we went into a flat in Dublin Street, and I lost my key. I think we locked the key inside. I met the owner. He gave me a beer and said, don't worry, we'll get someone.
Yeah.
And
amazing.
I knew, no, this is a different place. People are so friendly. And when I came across Queen Street and George Street, and you just saw that picture of Old Town with the castle, felt like almost like a movie.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, I love living here. That's why I've settled here after rugby. And just reminding a little bit, just going back to the rugby side of things, when you eventually started playing here, and we talk about this a lot in World Rugby, what was the biggest difference for you in terms of rugby in the Southern Hemisphere and in the Northern Hemisphere?
I think one thing I read when I was still playing in South Africa, CJ Stannard playing for Munster said it at the time.
Yeah.
He was RB Player of the Year for Ireland as well, or for Ireland. And he said, playing for the Bulls, such a big, successful union in rugby, you thought like, no, you have it all. Nothing more to learn. You're the top of the cream. And then when I got to Scotland in Edinburgh, and Cockers and Matt gave me a shot. Cockers playing for Leicester and for England was actually really a good and a massive influence in knowing your job. Your job's to scrum. Your job's to maul. Your job's not to run fancy lines in New Zealand. Your job's to run over people.
It eventually got to the point where you were allowed to make your debut for Scotland. Just tell me what it was like walking into that Scotland camp for the first time, because I've done the same thing and I felt instantly welcomed. I think it helps that in Scotland we've only got 2 teams, so you tend to know a lot of the players. What was that like for you?
I always, because all my friends and family asked me this question that week, and I just told them it's the most professional, connected and amazing vibe and culture and team and circle I've been part of. There's expectations and responsibilities, but you can just be yourself and be that 100% and live out your super strengths. The other stuff, they'll help assist you with growing better.
Inevitably, your first cap came. Can you tell us a little bit about that week leading into that first cap and what it felt like singing the anthem, running out for the first time in a Scotland jersey in the crowd, and just give us some of the snippets, some of the memories of that time. Yeah,
it was incredible to know that, you know, Gregor and the team and the players and the legends in your squad and the management backs you. And in actual fact, then the whole of Scotland stands behind you. Every fan that bought a ticket for that autumn game against Tonga, you're going to represent number one. All the legends before you in the jersey, big names. Even like my pals, Rory Sutherland, that just played for British Irish Lions as well. You have a massive responsibility. And to have their backing, I think it motivates you like nothing before. You know this, but that feeling of, I think you can have COVID, but if you go with the boss inside just before kick-off, that'll get you up and enough energy to play 160 minutes of rugby. And to represent every young lad or lassie, it almost took away the pressure. Like, you know, you have to perform and you have a responsibility, but they back you, that's why they're there. And that was nice for me, to believe that you're good enough now. Now you have to make it work. You have to you have the responsibility to perform now.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the family support you've had from both your mum and dad, but also from your wife and whoever else is in your inner circle.
Yeah, I would say, I always tell Carissa, my wife, this, but Pierre, my name in France, actually means like a rock, a solid rock. And I also always tell people close to me, like, or when you ask that question, she's actually the rock of our family. She would always have the faith, no matter where rugby took us. It's only been to Scotland now, but she will just pack up all her dreams and hopes and family. She's very close to her sister and mom as well. And you know, we had a nice life there, but she sacrificed all of that to move the earth. And that's not the only thing. She's always, you know, positive, stand behind me.
Yeah.
Sometimes actually pulling me, metaphorically said. And she had faith that I will make my debut sooner than 5 years.
Yeah.
And she just constantly said that. And yeah, for us, we rely a lot on each other. We're best mates. It's a good journey. And also for us together, then we almost see it as a triangle. That, you know, God is, we believe in God and He really helps us and give us a talent and provides.
Yeah.
And I think we always, that's why sometimes when I play as well, I draw it on my wrist as well.
Yeah.
Because us three, one can't be too far because it's always connected.
Yeah.
That's why it's a triangle.
Yeah, nice.
And we have that philosophy, I reckon, for eternity.
And apart from making your debut against Tonga, which was a massive day for you and your family, another big occasion that really stands out must be the England win for the Calcutta Cup.
Yeah, that was massive. Again at PT Murrayfield. And I remember, because I was coming off the bench, and we had such a, I think it was genuinely past the last minute. So it was like over 80 minutes.
Yeah.
It was the third scrum that collapsed. And you can imagine that pressure as a loose head. You don't want to be that guy.
Nah.
For not even a year with Scotland.
Nah.
And elbow down penalty against experienced front row. I just looked at Rambo, Stuart McInally, and I smiled and I knew, don't worry, I won't drop this.
Nice.
We will win this now.
And that was it.
And that feeling afterwards, the Calcutta Cup with Carissa, my wife, as I said, the triangle with all those fans, it was just incredible. It wasn't the best Guinness Six Nations for us, but that gave a memory.
Win stood out.
I know, that feeling of...
And that's something you'll never forget.
Exactly. And how many more of those feelings do you want to work towards? That's why you put in the graph, to achieve that again.
Thank you very much for speaking to us today. It's been absolutely astonishing talking to you. I had already heard that you were a big character, but bigger than I even thought.
No, thank
you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Cheers.
It's an honour.